We are so excited you are all here. It is super cool to see all of your faces, and we want the opportunity for you to keep sharing with each other. But we want to do a really quick little program because we are all here for a super special reason. And so in addition, before we talk about unveiling the portrait, we are excited that we have 3 previous presidents with us here today. Before y'all got to come over to OP at 4 for the celebration. But Daryl Kruger, Barbara Dixon, and Jack Magruder are all here, so we can say yay, welcome. And we also have a number of members of our former Board of Governors or Regents, and all of our current Board of Governors are here because we have a meeting starting at 1 o'clock. So without further ado, I want to tell you, almost 2 years ago, Troy presented a really powerful talk at the SAB Last Lecture Series entitled On Saying Goodbye, the Power of Letting Go. He reflected on the things that matter and the things that don't matter. And what he talked about is there are moments in life that what is most important becomes crystal clear, what we are called to do and the people in our lives. And he's absolutely right. What is important and what matters most is relationships. As we all gather here today, and I'm so excited to see all of you, to unveil Troy's portrait, we are thrilled to celebrate the really special relationship Troy has with each of us and with Truman. He is a profound part of our individual and collective lives, and we are thrilled he has come home to us for at least a day. While Troy is fully interwoven into the tapestry of Truman, what's missing is the visual representation of this interconnectedness. Today, the portrait unveiling fills that void. The portrait is a great representation of Troy, as you will soon see. It's professional, accessible, formal, yet simultaneously casual, and filled with personality. When you look at it, there's a connection with the portrait that is truly reflective of the connection that Troy has with Truman. So while 2 years ago, Troy discussed on saying goodbye, the power of letting go, this portrait unveiling really gives us the opportunity to say, welcome home, the power of reconnecting. Please join me in congratulating Troy as we unveil his portrait.
Okay, this is going to be hard. I was both looking forward and dreading this moment at the same time. Any of you who've gone back home probably can relate to that. First of all, I don't know if Michael's here or not, but I should let you know that it was about 4 years ago that I first met Sue. And I don't know if anyone knows this. I met her in a hotel room in Dallas. But I so thank you for this opportunity. And if I did anything right here, it was being able to identify talent and bring them to Truman. And I think I certainly did that with Sue. And so gratified that she's here and she is now serving as your president. There's so many people to thank. I don't even know really where to begin, and I look out at these faces, and it's hard for me because you really are my family. And I certainly could go down the list of all the people in this room who have meant so much to me. Certainly the previous presidents, the Board of Governors who I served with. I have a connection either directly or indirectly with presidents going really far back, all the way to Walt Ryle, because through his son and the friendship I was able to form with him, and he sponsored me into Rotary, and I know I saw him here. I know he's here somewhere, Walt. All the way then, one of the great honors of my life and certainly of my profession was that when I came here to Truman, I had an opportunity to forge a relationship with Charles McLean. And I would make the trek down Highway 63 quite often to Columbia, and he was gracious with his time to have lunch with me, and I would pick his brain, and I so wanted to be like Charles McLean, and I knew I never could be. There's only one Charles McLean, but to be a transformative leader like that, was certainly something that I aspired to, and to have the opportunity to sit at the feet of the master and listen to him and to understand why he was so effective here. But of course, he didn't do it alone, and I'm going to save it. Dr. Kruger, I'm going to save you for last. I'm sorry. Barbara brought me here, and I couldn't be more grateful for that. And I hope you're a little proud of me that I know that you broke a glass ceiling here, and I know that one of the things you cared deeply about was making sure that women would assume positions of leadership. Well, I hired Sue, right? And by the way, at Mary Washington, all 6 of my vice presidents are women, just an aside. So hopefully I'm carrying on a little bit of your legacy as well. I developed close friendships with those presidents here who I think embody Northeast Missouri, Bob Dager and Jack Magruder and the entire Magruder family. And their kindness to me reflects so much what makes this place so special. Of course, my immediate predecessor here at Truman, I know him. I'm sorry, I know a lot of people call him Darryl. He's always going to be President Kruger to me. He was my president. When I started as a young faculty member at Winona State University, he was my president. And I know he did amazing things here back in the 70s and 80s, working side by side with Charles McLean. But I wish I could bring all of you up for a road trip to Winona, Minnesota, to see what type of a transformational leader he was at Winona State University, and the difference he made in that institution from the day I arrived there, from the day I left, what a different place that was because of Darryl Kruger. But more importantly to me personally is that when I gave that talk 2 years ago about investing in people, Dr. Kruger invested in me. He saw something in me that I certainly didn't see, and he mentored me and he guided me, certainly at Winona. But then the fact that I had the privilege for when he came back here for that 2-year stint, or almost 2-year stint as an interim while I was provost, to be able to learn more from him. What's ironic about Dr. Kruger for me is that I learned probably many things from him, but 2 most importantly. One is the power of listening. That if you ever spend any time with Dr. Kruger, you know that he says few words, but he listens intently. And he listens to understand. The ironic thing is that the person I probably quote the most, almost weekly, is Dr. Kruger. So how a man who said so few words had such an impact with the words he shared with me, I'll never know. But the other thing that I've tried to keep in my heart is that he understands true north, that you stay committed to a mission, to a purpose, to values, to principles, and you don't veer off course no matter what. To lead with integrity, to lead with heart. I learned that from him. All the board members I served with, both the ones who I served with as I was leaving, but also, see you back there, Mark, that board that hired me. I'm so grateful for the opportunity to do it. I think about what makes this place so special for me, and it goes back to that talk, it's the people. And I know one of the hard lessons about leadership is that you have to know when it's time to step aside and let someone else lead. And it's easy sometimes for leaders to hold on tight. But when you hold on tight, it becomes about you and not about the mission. So letting go is hard for me because I've lived in different places. I've lived in Indiana. I've lived in Michigan. I've lived in Minnesota. I now live in the Commonwealth of Virginia. But this is my home. I came to Northeast Missouri, and it's not just about Truman, it's about Northeast Missouri. When I think of the people who had such an impact on my life and who I care so deeply about, people I worked with every day in the president's office. I'm not going to name names because I know I'll embarrass them. They know who they are. The people up and down the hallway on the second floor of McLean, who are of this place. They reflect this place through their hard work, through their dedication, through their humility, but through their kindness. Their kindness. And the kindness they showed me to let me become a part of this amazing place. Many of you might not know this, my dad was a minister. And as I've aged, I try to think of two things about my past and what I was taught from my father. Going to church all those Sundays. And there are two things, two words. They both start with a G. One is grace. I've received so much, not because I deserve it, but because people have shown such kindness to me. And all of you in this room are, to me, an embodiment of that grace that has been given to me. The other G word is gratitude. The gratitude I have to have had an opportunity to lead this wonderful university, but more importantly, to become a part of this amazing community and develop relationships with people who have changed my life in a way that I cannot articulate. So when you look at this portrait, what I hope you see is a reflection of you and how special you are and what a difference you made in one Hoosier's life. I'm in Virginia now. I met Mary Washington. I wasn't very good when I got here, but I'm better because of you. But this will always be my home. I will be a Bulldog forever. Thank you so much. Wait a second. So I got to say that in this room represents both the hardest decision in my life, and that was the decision to leave, and the easiest decision in my life. And the easiest decision was to ask Kelly to marry me. And just as you are all a reflection of grace, right there, that's the biggest example of grace in my life, is having her by my side for 33 years. And I know that when I left, you missed her a lot more than you missed me, and I get that. I understand that, and I'm okay with that. Thank you very much.